So this young lady is, to some extent, she is a premium product. She is almost like a tailor-made Louis Vuitton product or something, something that's like a luxury item in the sense that she's rare, right? She's just this little diamond and adorable and ready to go kick butt. She's purpose driven. She's very professional, very articulate, very highly educated. And let me ask y'all this: give me a yes or no. How many of y'all believe, if you would, how many of y'all would agree with me that there's probably another at least 500,000 black girls and black boys that are just as smart as she is, who could have done the same thing if they were in the same environment? How many of y'all would agree with me on that? That even though she could be rare in terms of intellect, maybe she has a little bit higher IQ or something like that. But how many of you would agree that there's probably at least 500,000 to 1 million little black boys who became rappers or thugs who could have become just like her, or little girls who could have become similar to what she is, but they were pulled into other stuff. They're again they're twerking or not studying or into social media or whatever, right? So here's what I want you to kind of understand. Your children, our children, all of our children are our children. Your children are my children. I want to be in the family. I hope you can invite me and make me like I'm just Uncle Boyce, because I really want to be a member of the family, an advisor to kind of support you in preserving and nurturing these amazing little assets that we have called children. This is your $1 trillion play. Your children are your $1 trillion asset. And this is where we talk about the ways white folks have stolen from us financially, but what we don't talk about is what they've stolen from us in terms of human capital. Human capital is basically human beings that are a form of capital. So every time there is a little boy that could have been anything, but society convinces him to become something else, then that's a theft of our human capital. Or when I send my child to school every day thinking that they're learning everything they need to know, and they come back and they can barely read and barely write and barely do math, well, they've kind of stolen my human capital. They've wasted the time of my child, and my child could have become a lot of amazing things, but they didn't become that. Well, I want you to kind of understand, though, that this young lady who is a template of Black excellence that I think we can all appreciate, that you can mass produce children like this. You can mass produce this. What her parents realize is that the system does not produce little black girls like this. The system does not produce little black boys like this. So if you want to see more children like this that are reaching their potential, that are purpose driven, that are highly educated, that are competitive with the rest of the world, you're going to have to consider ways to get your kids either away from the system, supplement the system, override the system, or whatever. I have seen examples of multiple black children in the B1 space. Sometimes these are B1 kids. Some of y'all probably have these kids that literally are 14 years old doing college level work, that are 12-year-old millionaires. We have tons of them in the Black Business School. There's tons of families that are doing this. This is not a magic formula that in terms of what her parents did. There's nothing like mysterious about this. I'm sure if her parents sat down and did a blueprint of, okay, this is our regimen, this is our process, this is our system, all of you could replicate this. All of us could, right? So my big question for all of us is to say, why don't we consciously pursue more of that? Why don't we consciously sort of say, okay, how do we've got Black excellence right here. It's not an unsolvable problem, but how do we implement this? How do we mass produce this one product that came out so perfectly and so amazing and so eloquently? Because here's the thing. In America, the biggest challenge that Black people have is this thing called systematic racism. And systematic racism is exactly that. It is systematic. And that means that you are not being conquered by a person, you're being conquered by a system. It's almost like you're being controlled by almost like a type of artificial intelligence. It's a systematic sort of way to kind of keep you where you are and to extract things from you and all this other stuff.